right, folks, welcome back to another live stream episode of Box Mining Live Stream and Crypto and Friends, where we got our friend Nate here. Hey, Nate. And we talk about everything that's cryptocurrencies, blockchain, Ethereum 2.0 coming out. Also, today's episode is really about decentralized finance. I'm just joking here, but it is really about decentralized finance. We have a lot of special guests here. And kind of the way it's really driving is that DeFi 2.0 has a very key narrative to play that's coming up. And not just a key narrative, but in substantially doing and making money and being profitable. You know, that's the money that really talks. So we have all that coming here. Welcome, Nate. How's it going, man?
Hey, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. What's up, Box Mining community? Always really good to see you guys. Pretty excited about this episode. DeFi is my thing. I really like it, and there's some people here that I want you guys all to meet. So hopefully we have fun. Yeah, so life is good, man.
Yeah. And Nate's been bringing me on to quite a few DeFi conferences. So we've been talking a lot about decentralized finance as well. So I really, this episode's going to be really packed. Today it's going to be bringing quite a few friends on board as well. So it's going to be a more chatter session. I hope you guys do enjoy it. Do smash up the likes and also, of course, ask questions. So I've been deep diving a little bit into quite a few projects. I'll give you some of my views as well as to what's happening to the markets. It's clear and blunt and insightful. That's how you guys like it. That's how this channel's always been. So that's gonna be our objective today. So yeah, make sure you smash up the links. I want to say hi to Crypto Orange, to Ronnie Ray, to Llama666, to Box Fan, to Amen Amen, to Mitch Rap, Sebastian. Hey, how is everyone doing? Say hi in the comments below and let's get started. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a very quick market overview, and then we're going to move on straight to the news, and then we are going to move on to our DeFi panel here. So well, I'll just have to smile and talk about the markets today because virtually nothing has happened. I'll be honest. I'll be blunt with you guys. I'll be blunt. There's no clickbaits here. It's been relatively stagnant for this past week. So I'll point out the obvious first, which is that this weekend we did not have a major dip. So this is something that we have to watch out for when it comes to weekends. We do know that there's lower volume, and a bloody weekend has been going on for the past 2 months. There's this trend where on the weekend we do have a dip we can buy in. But today, of course, obviously, it doesn't seem to be that brutal. So yet again, the market seems to be finding some support, right? We have both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum found its support around 2,100. Bitcoin finding its support around $34,000 rather. I still think that Bitcoin's 3,000, not
3,000.
I wish. But it is a situation where last week we did see some of the degenerates in this community. We saw both a $1 million token launched by the YouTuber Tech Lead. We saw a new Shiba swap going on. Those are very two degen coins. I would classify them, especially the Tech Lead one. I'm gonna hit hard on Tech Lead guy because he's like literally selling a $1 coin for $30. I'm not sure why people buy that, but people did. It was a sign that the degens were kind of restless. That was kind of what I was seeing. Like, people were just kind of like thinking, okay, like what's the next cum rocket? What's the next Doge? What's the next Shiba? So that seems to be the trend last week. But however, it didn't really restart the cycle. There's not enough momentum to go forward. So I feel like that's kind of the obvious here where if you're looking for that momentum, it still hasn't gotten it there yet. We do see some movement, right? We see some FedEx, we see Nano. SNX has been moving up for the past 7 days, right? It's been pushing up this kind of like we're talking about this DeFi narrative. You look at SNX, right? Let's flow it out like this past 14 days. It's been on a more or less upward trajectory, right? From July all the way from $6 all the way to $12. So this is something that I don't want to forget. I feel like there is a lot more positive momentum now, especially when it comes to decentralized finance. It's kind of retaking the throne here. We had this little bit of a detour for all the meme coins, but yet again, DeFi popping back in, and a lot of the reasons why is because DeFi has some substantial good stuff going on there, right? If you look at cryptofees.info, this is a site that I look at, and you can look at the fees, right? The average fees on Ethereum, Binance, and these are all the DeFi protocols down here: Uniswap, Aave, Compound, Synthetics, MakerDAO, QuickSwap. You're taking in, right, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of fees every week, not just not just period, but every week. So this is where these protocols are getting used, right? And this is where money is being made. Obviously, Ethereum being a big one is still the gas fees last week were pretty crazy when it comes to when the trading really does go and pick up. But you can definitely see some solid numbers hitting out here. So I don't see why DeFi is being going to be held back. I feel like there's a lot of innovation here, and we'll talk about that in the later segment. And that's the reason for today. But this is what I'm kind of seeing in this space. So obviously, Nate, you've been looking at these crazy meme coins. You've been looking at the market. How are you feeling about it right now?
So when Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of stable like this, it's a good time to build. What I found, it's people aren't just making insane amounts of money, just like it's not just only up, and it's not just hype anymore. So people are starting to put the work in. Developers are building, engineers are building, and it's good to see. The meme coins are great, but they're very short lived. So I'm looking for some projects that'll solve a major problem in the space and also have longevity. Even after 2022, 2023, it would be good to see what thrives.
Absolutely, and I think it's a different mentality, right? It's a completely shift in mentality between this time, because during the bull market, it's about making as much noise as possible, having the most shocking name or shocking meme for your project. But now it's like, okay, people are slowing down. There are more funds deploying. I think this is where I've been hearing on the word on the street is that more funds are deploying capital into the DeFi market right now, which is what's causing kind of the movements. So smart money is starting to move in again. It's like they're finding the deals. And I feel like this is a case where a lot of projects that were highly overvalued is becoming a lot more kind of reasonable value, right, at this current point. So this is where it's I'm definitely feeling that this is a time to start looking at the market. But what I'm not feeling is the urgency. I think this is the issue right now, where because Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're still relatively steady. They're still relatively holding. There's no kind of spark to make me want to immediately spend. I'm still observing the market. I'm still kind of watching things go, and I was kind of looking for these key points, right? I was telling you and telling everyone before, if Ethereum moves to 3,300, all right, that's a totally different story. Then that's going to be the FOMO kicking right in. Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin passing 4,000, that would be for me the kind of the trigger that I'm looking for to deploy a lot more capital than I have right now to increase my exposure. But at this current time, right, I obviously have my HODL bags. I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on the coins I want, but I'm having a comfortable portfolio. I'm comfortable holding what I have already. I think that's kind of the mentality for this market as well. We got Diamond Hands says the entire market is still up 1,700% from last year. Absolutely. And I feel like there's a lot more potential. A lot more potential to go as well, because this year we've been seeing a lot from last year. If you look at the fees of Uniswap, it's barely anything, but now Uniswap is having substantial fees, it's making money, and this is what's kind of vital in the space right now. So this is kind of the biggest change. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to very quickly, I'm dying to talk about DeFi, obviously, you can tell. DeFi. And we have some guests bringing on, and they're waiting patiently in the background. But let's finish covering some of the biggest news of the day. So we're going to bring in Jemmy as well. Hey, Jemmy, how's it going? Can you hear us?
Hello, guys. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Michael. Hi, Jay.
Great.
Hey, Jemmy.
Great. And Jemmy's been filling in on a lot of the news as well. Like, she's
Yes, I
chosen a few
do.
articles. She was like dying. She was telling me, "Oh man, I want to talk about this next session." So I'm like, I gotta bring you guys. Gotta bring you on. Nate, you guys have some content as well. So what I'm gonna ask you both is to both bring the articles on screen, and we're gonna share the news. There has been a few hacks over the weekend too. I was looking at my news feed, and there were quite a few unpleasant situations to say the very least. But yeah, we'll catch that on. We got Jason Ruff says, "Gem rock, let's go rock, Jemmy." You gotta get those NFTs out too. So let's start with Jemmy first. I see that Jemmy, you've got your screen up, and we got Nate as well. So let me throw Jemmy's screen up, and you can cover and tell us what's going on. All right.
Okay, are you sharing my screen now?
Yes, it is. It's
Okay.
on. You are on
Okay,
air.
sure. Okay, sure. So the first piece of news is about Visa. Visa is diving deeper into crypto. So Visa and 50 crypto platforms to enable cryptocurrency payments at 70 million merchants. So Visa announced on Wednesday that the transaction via crypto-linked Visa cards exceed $1 billion in the first quarter. The company further said that it is partnering with 50 major cryptocurrency platforms to launch card programs that make it easy to convert and spend digital currency at 70 million merchants worldwide. So this news comes on top of the fact that Visa just literally put out a statement saying that more than $1 billion are spent in crypto card transactions. I mean, $1 billion in for Visa is not a lot of money, but the CFO of Visa actually said that in one of the interviews that he did. So a year ago, it was almost nothing. So you can see the growth is very, very dramatic, and it has demonstrated is that crypto can be used to buy goods and services and can be used in a lot of merchants in the world. And this can be done without the merchants actually doing anything. So the merchants don't have to change anything. It will be the same as any other Visa transaction to them. But on the back trend, the crypto assets are instantly converted into fiat. So I think this has really boosted the confidence of users because Visa is so tight with regulation, and they wouldn't be doing this if Bitcoin or crypto are not here to stay. So, in my opinion, they're just preparing for this year, but not only preparing for this year, but the long-term future. So, yeah, let me know your take on this.
I love it. I love it. I mean, first of all, 2017 was a shit show for Visa. Okay, if you guys remember 10x, that was a disaster. I was so excited when I got that card where I can spend crypto at merchants, use it real life. And then, of course, the cards got removed because there's obviously some sort of, issues going on with using crypto for payments. But this year, obviously, it's amazing. Like it's beyond amazing. Like I'll show you guys this, which is it's a like I have to block it very very carefully. But this is my Genesis block Mastercard. It's not Visa, but it's my Mastercard from Genesis block. So Genesis block is the OTC desk here, and they have a venture arm as well. And this is my card. It's a preview card, a version 1, and it allows me to spend a merchants like buy dinner, anything, buy stuff. And people spend, right? People in crypto spend, and they're realizing this immense growth, right? So I feel like what's happening is that Visa and both Mastercard and Visa, they're realizing how much money people are willing to spend, and obviously they make money, right? Visa, Mastercard, they make money on every single transaction. So it's almost like 2 to 3% depending on the merchant and their deal with them. But why not, right? Like they see this is growing, they want people doing this, and they're super thirsty. That's great, right? But that is the case, and especially right now, like I've seen the other negative side where UK is doing a lot of stuff to try to block people from in the UK by blocking payments. Like UK banks are blocking payments to Binance accounts right now, so trying to prevent people from buying crypto. But this is like the reverse side is happening. Visa just can't wait to make some money off crypto folks. So I mean, more cards coming soon, guys.
Yeah, I'm ready for cards.
All right. We got Jemmy in the house. Everyone's loving Jemmy. Jemmy, you got a channel as well. You got to talk. Let me throw your channel up as well on stuff.
Sure.
Jemmy's making a lot of content herself. She's doing super amazing work. So if you guys want to catch her on her own channel, Crypto Jemmy, let me put that on and link it on. So there we go. Boom. All right. What's next, guys?
Yes, so I can run through the articles that I have real quick. Yeah, so everyone's been hitting me up about Axie Infinity. Like literally everybody. I've gotten like maybe 4 or 5 texts in the past 2 days. There's some my friends in Malaysia that are locked down. They're just playing this game. People here are just playing this game. It's could be good, you know. So it's blockchain gaming. I initially I thought blockchain gaming. I went to E3 in 2019 and I asked 2018 and 2019. I asked a bunch of people, like random gamers on the street, in the E3 in the venue, what they thought about blockchain gaming, and I think it was 98% of the guests that I asked, like just random gamers, they had no idea what blockchain gaming was, like literally no idea. And I was just like, okay, this might never work. But recently, a lot of people have been talking about this, and so that gives me a little bit of excitement, if you will, that something is starting to take place here. And I don't know if this is going to be the one. I don't know if it's like the Fortnite with blockchain on the bottom, but it's a good start.
I think it's like so one thing good. So you know, I've been talking about blockchain gaming for a while, and I've been both pushing it really hard, but also being really disappointed at this how slow it's been moving, right? Because of, you know, it's been quite a few years. I've been, you know, looking for it. So I'm glad that's finally getting some form of adoption. People are interested in it. I'm super glad, and I'm glad that something like Axie is taking the lead on this, right? They have a game that's designed from the ground up to support blockchain. Obviously, there's still it's still not the funnest game in the world. I'll just put it bluntly out there. Like, I'll be blunt with all these things, where right now I think a lot of people are starting to realize people can make money here, which is quite important. I think a lot of the Ethereum early guys are spending a lot of money on this. So that's great, right? What it's demonstrating is that the you know, coming from a gaming background, we'll call these the big big whales of gaming, right? Because every game, especially the pay-to-win games, free-to-play games, if you want to call them, that they have the whales, the 1% of the population that pays for everything, right? They'll be like 99% of the revenue, and they'll be doing that. So it's kind of interesting to see that their strength is, and their financial payments are not just supporting the game developers, but supporting the players as well. So I think that's the biggest change if you think of it from a meta perspective, where because the players can trade and the big whales buy off other players, it's giving it kind of this virtual economy a good shot. So this is where I do see a lot of value coming in. This is where one of the biggest values, and the other one is about being able to cross chain and have assets cross chain. But I would say that this is not the best game in the world. I would say, you know, I've been playing Battlefield 1 on the weekend. I've been playing some other like Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation. So, you know, I've been playing big titles, right? But I see this as like a stepping stone, and I'm come to realize that it will take some time for this to happen. I'm happy to see this momentum as well. So, you know, guys, I instantly just took my phone. I'm like, you know what? I have to download Axie again, and, you know, see how it goes.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to make a game that's fun. You know, people don't really need to know that it's blockchain, right? They need to play the game that's fun first, whether it's COD, Fortnite, or, you know, racing games. Like, it has to be fun first, and then
hard to design. Fun is a very hard to describe keyword. There's infinite conferences about this. What the hell is fun? All right.
Yeah, we can talk about this forever. All right. Well, I digress.
Let's move on. All right, let's go. Keep going.
Quick. So this is finally, crypto ads are no longer allowed on TikTok, because I was seeing a lot of stuff on TikTok with influencers. There's a trend going on where people are, I don't know if you guys know the sheesh, that trend, the sheesh trend. Somebody made a sheesh token. It took off, and I don't know. It's sheesh, man. You know what I mean? So they're finally pulling back on it. The influencers on TikTok are no longer allowed to kind of push so hard for crypto. And there was a thing with FaZe Clan. They're also an esports, where FaZe K and a few others, they made this token called Save the Kids, or somebody made a Save the Kids, and they were promoting the Save the Kids, but somebody was dumping on everybody. They got in pre-sale, and then they would talk about it on Twitter, and then they would dump on the retail. And they were trying to do it to save the kids, but clearly, it wasn't for the kids, and stuff like that. So TikTok, it was just this huge thing, and they traced it back on the blockchain. Yeah,
it's a shit show. I mean, people you always use let's do good for humanity, and then some are more humanity than others, sort of thing, right? Anyways, but yeah, I think it's a good and a bad thing, and when it comes to all this, banning is never good, but at the same time, TikTok kind of accelerated the meme stuff going on, and the problem was the videos were too short to create actual value. I think that's the issue. That's the biggest issue, right? Because TikTok videos are like 15-20 minutes. They're meant to drum up interest, excitement, which is really great. It works very well for meme coins, but it doesn't work very well for stuff like DeFi because it takes a while to describe that. So I feel like this is it depends on the medium that we're on, and I think like YouTube is one of the ones that we can spend a little bit more time on. So maybe that works. But anyways,
yep. So that's all I got. That's
all right.
Yeah, that's the news on my end.
Awesome. And Jason Ruff says, "Who owns TikTok? It's China. China owns it." Okay. Anyways, with all the TikTok drama, Hong Kong actually doesn't have TikTok. It's kind of funny. It got banned here. But anyways, long story short, it's owned by ByteDance in China. All right, Jemmy, you want to finish up the news? I'll throw your window on, and we'll finish up on the news.
Yeah, sure. I think I'll do the U.S. Senator one then. Okay, so U.S. Senator Warren pressed SEC to use full authority to regulate cryptocurrency trading. So U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren has warned of growing risk of cryptocurrency trading. She recently called the US SEC to use its full authority to address these risks, adding that Congress must also step up to close these regulatory gaps. This is not the first time that Elizabeth Warren said something about, having more scrutiny to protect investors. And I have to say, I do agree with her on certain things. Well, actually, I have her letter up here. So this is the letter she wrote to the SEC. Let me just copy and, maybe I'll do it in a second. So if you guys are interested, do check it out. But it's 5 pages long. I'm not going to go through everything here. So what she said in that letter is basically the lack of regulation ensures that investors have no way of knowing whether the trading volume and prices they report reflect real activity or market manipulation. In order to receive a higher ranking on sites that list cryptocurrency exchanges, many exchanges routinely fake their volumes to attract more coins and users. So on that, I kind of agree with her, but it's unfortunately, but it's happening because there's just no regulation. So these people can do whatever they want. So, but at the same time, I kind of doubt her if she really understands how crypto works. But I'll say this: whether we like it or not, regulations are kicking in for sure. So I think we just have to accept it.
We have quite a lot of comments up here on this. Elijah Killen says she isn't that smart.
Burn.
He also says Elijah Warren has no respect for the American people. Every time she says stuff, people buy PATC. Okay, so I guess this is gonna be a minefield. I have to defend myself because I did comment that at least in the Senate hearing that I was listening to, it was regarding Facebook. So this was from some time ago. She was the only one that actually kind of knew what was going on. The other senators were all like, "Oh, you can send this US dollar representing coin anywhere in this world?" Whoa! Their mind was like, at least she knew that this was going on. Maybe she doesn't have a clue of what's going on. But I think US politics is a minefield here, so I'm gonna refrain from commenting too much. But I think the Senate's got problems, man. The Senate's got problems. So anyways, they're still trying to figure this out, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, politics, I just won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Even at dinner, with family, because half of my family is Republican, the other half is Democrats, like super conservative. Yeah, and then we're just not allowed to talk about politics at dinner. It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, people just get into fights, and yeah. So
Well,
no governing body is. It's just should be decentralized. I guess I'll just leave it at that.
like Senate's got problems, man. Senate's got problems. Like I watch that stuff. I'm just like face palming. If someone random, like I don't know, I guess like I don't watch too much American politics, but I feel like yeah, it's something to be banned, and it's we'll see how it goes. I mean, like, why did people give these people power is my biggest question, but that's for you guys, right? That's for you guys out there. How are these people even in power? But anyways, Jemmy, do you have anything up next?
Yeah, sure. It's about Wells Fargo's. So are you sharing my screen?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Wells Fargo's, yeah.
Okay, so Wells Fargo's tells customers they're shuttering all personal lines of credit. So the bank is shutting down all existing personal lines of credit in coming weeks and no longer offers the product. The revolving credit lines, which typically let users borrow $3,000 to $100,000, were pitched as a way to consolidate high-interest credit card debt, pay for home renovations, or avoid overdraft fees on linked checking accounts. So Wells Fargo wants customers that the account closures may have an impact on your credit score. So this is why it's outraging people, because when you cut this account off, this can knock your credit scores down. So the bank is basically saying, oh, we're sorry for the inconvenience, but there's nothing you can do about it. So this is definitely very unfair to institutions or investors. I'm talking about average people like you in the end. I think this action. Oh, actually, if you scroll down, you can see Elizabeth Warren actually say something on Twitter as well. So not a single Wells Fargo customer should see the credit score suffer just because the bank is restructuring after years of scams and incompetence. So I think this action could lead to more people into cryptocurrencies and DeFi. So for example, Bitcoin is everyone's saying is digital gold, is gold 2.0, is a better medium of exchange, and it's a direct threat to fiat and USDT. And for Ethereum and DeFi is a threat to traditional banks. If I can't get a loan with Wells Fargo anymore, I can just get a loan with DeFi, because with DeFi it's decentralized, right? So everyone can get a loan. So this is not something directly related to the crypto space, but I think is another piece of evidence that the traditional banking systems are flawed and DeFi offers a way out. So yeah, let me know your take on this.
I think we'll leave that discussion to the DeFi segment. All right, I'll
Yeah,
leave that to the DeFi segment. I'm gonna close up on the news stuff really quickly because everyone's talking about the chain swap hack. So 8 million was lost, and this is a cross-chain protocol. This is why people are using it. But so what was happening was that coins, Wilder, Antimatter, Option Room, Umbrella, Nord, Razor, Perry, Unido, Oro, Vortex, Blank, Uniform, and more. So the coins that were using ChainSwap, they are affected by the ChainSwap hack. So I guess this is just a warning to people that this happened, and this is probably one of the reasons why those coins took a hit as well. But it does seem to be it's not a huge loss. Apparently, it's only $8 million. But because these projects were affected on there, it could have caused some of these issues. So this is one of the bigger. Yet again, it's a bigger, wider kind of affecting hack that happened. And what I do have to say about this is that cross chain right now at this current point is still. It's still in its infancy, and it's something that we have to remember. Like I hate doing these videos and saying, oh yeah, money got hacked, guys, it sucks, but and it does. And okay, two things, right? First and foremost, I think it's a situation where much more audits are needed. Like, I'm talking to guys at Hacken and talking to guys at QuantSwap, QuantStam and Certicate right now. Like, the more audits that we have on these contracts, the better, because at the end of the day, because code is law, if the hacker hacks money, they take coins, that's gone, right? And they can not only can they take the money, but they can dump it on the market, right? That's the other big issue where like they can just buy the coin and then dump it. So anyways, just be a little bit careful. I think the prices are going a little bit crazy right now. Like I think let me throw Wild World up there. Yeah, I think it dumped and it picked up again. So
Whoa, 11,000%.
I think
What happened
like
there?
the community had to respond, because I think maybe what happened was that the hacker took some coins, and because of the exploit hitting the exchange, the hacker probably dumped it very quickly and dumped the price down, and then the price kind of resumed back to normal. So it does seem to be the case where it's not completely the end of the world, but it's unpleasant. I mean, Blank took a huge hit. Yeah, Blank hasn't recovered yet. So it is a situation where because these exchanges are the ones that are taking because the exchange is the one that got hit, it's the worst, right? This is a cross chain exchange. There's a protocol for that. And the other issue is that for coins that have low liquidity, like a $100,000 dump will cause a huge drop right now. So this is what's kind of dumping these coins. If you guys are wondering why a particular coin may be down, this is one of the reasons why. It's because chain swap is down. It sucks. I think a lot of people want to talk about it, but I think it's a situation where, yet again, this is where audits are much more critical. Also, the other any swap also got hacked as well. Apparently, there's an exploit detected in V3, so just be a little bit careful. And I think this is as good as time as any to open up our panel on DeFi. Starting off on a bad note, but at the same time, it's like it's presenting how DeFi is now becoming a very critical architecture. But at the same time, there's still going to be exploits, and we can talk about regulation and kind of developments with Ryan and Yubo coming up. So Nathan, do you want to introduce the guests and let's bring them on?
Sure. Yes. So I want to introduce you guys to my friends Ryan and Yubo. So Ryan is building something called Alkemi Network. He's the CEO and founder there, and it's a very interesting take.
Let's bring Ryan on. All right, here. Hi, Ryan. Oh no, Ryan's frozen. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for waiting.
Oh, it's working.
You're good. All right. So Nate, carry on your introduction.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sure, I can. Maybe Ryan, you can introduce yourself really quickly to the audience.
Sure. Hey everyone, Box Mining community. As Nathan said, I'm Ryan. I'm the founder at the Alkemi Network. We are building a DeFi. We have built a DeFi protocol for lending and borrowing that is focused on getting institutional money into the DeFi space. And the key to unlocking that is really addressing the kind of elephant in the room with DeFi, which is compliance. So we offer a permissioned protocol that basically KYC checks different investors that want to get into DeFi, and they have compliance concerns where they need to know the counterparty. So our protocol does that. If you want to learn more about us, you can check us out at alkemi.network.
Nice. Yeah. Welcome. And then next up, we have my buddy Yubo. This dude is super smart, and I really admire his work. When I met him, he was running a fund called 8 Decimal Capital, and then now he's building his own project. So maybe you guys can talk to him as well.
Yeah. So Yubo, welcome on board.
Hey, hello. Hi, everyone. Box Mining community. Thanks for bringing me on.
Hey, man. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, sorry. Just that's definitely a massive delay going on, but I think being across the world and everything. So first of all, welcome guys. Thanks Nate for the amazing introductions. I guess one of the reasons why I kind of brought you guys on a little bit here is because we just saw some hacks on chain swap and with DeFi infrastructure. I guess I'll get two takes. Do you feel like this is I guess I'll take your. I'm not gonna lead you guys on. I'll see if you guys have any comments. So feel free to comment, and we'll have a discussion about DeFi and how it goes. So yeah.
So the question was, what do you think about the DeFi hacks?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Yubo or Ryan, you guys want to take this? So Yubo is also building something called parallel finance. So I'll let you guys take it.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. What do I think about the hacks? I definitely agree with kind of the comments earlier, that you never can have enough audits, and code is law. One of the things that is kind of cool, I guess, on like the permission side of DeFi we're working on is, I guess really you only kind of have like hackers or exploits really because you have the whole privacy side. You don't know who they are, who's kind of running out the money. One thing that's kind of cool that we're seeing or speculating on, we're certainly doing audits and stuff too with our protocol right now, but will we still be targeted if every user on the system, we know who they are? If we know their identity. So that's what we, and we think no, because of that. And so I think it's kind of interesting to see is like, as there's kind of more DeFi kind of compliant protocols coming up, like if you guys have heard like Aave Pro and stuff, if we're going to kind of see that same kind of, if you take the anonymity away from protocols, or that's not there anymore, do they still get exploited? Something interesting, I think.
Interesting. So there's two sides to this, right? So right now, code is law. So if it is or pseudo anonymous, because technically once people know and the funds internet exchange, they know who you are. But so what you're saying is that if everyone knows who each other is on the network, will they behave the same, and how do they deal with that? And the other issue is audits, right? Because right now, I guess, okay, I'm gonna push this a little bit harder, because you're doing a borrowing lending protocol, right? And there's a lot of interactions as well. And one thing that we see is not just code exploits, but financial exploits too, just because the way how these projects gather data, and we see audits hit and kind of bleed out funds from various projects too. So, how do you see us resolving that? Do we have to go into a kind of a non-anonymous environment for DeFi to work, or do you see kind of two systems? One where it is everyone knows their identity, it's KYC'd everything, and another where it's two systems. Like, where do you see us going then?
I don't think it's necessarily a either or. I think that both systems will always coexist, between the permission and permissionless side of DeFi. Yeah, I guess I'm not.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it's a really hard question. Yeah. I think, just I guess a bit more on it, like with audits and stuff, like, and I, if you're in the space, or you see a lot of projects usually like to do 2 or 3 audits. And so I know there's speculation sometimes, in the community. It's like, where are the hacks coming from? Is it, how are these getting past audits? And, is it, particular somebody in an audit firm that lets something slip, and, they're the secret black hat hacker that is kind of hidden by, which is, why you can do multiple audits. So the next group hopefully catches, something that maybe the first audit missed, and you kind of start ruling those issues out, and you do a third audit, or, and now I think they're even doing stuff I've heard, like kind of like community level audits. I've heard of some groups like that. I don't know if you guys have seen some of those.
Like friendly people in the community audit themselves, or they find.
I'm trying to remember the name. There's like kind of community. There's like a group. I know it was something we were looking at going through our audits. Let me see if I can get the name, and I can pull it up. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we can hop on over to Yubo. What do you think about all of the hacks going on in DeFi lately?
Yeah, man, that's pretty. Honestly, this is one of the big issue for mass adoptions. When users look at DeFi, a lot of news come out with 150 million hacks since 2019, or since 2019 there are actually $285 million worth of capital being stolen. And then this year, we have actually a lot in 2021. Through a specific article, it talks around 155 million just between now, pretty much like early this year, from January to April, there are $156 million have been hacked or utilized. I think that's I like the ideas of giving people incentive to become a white hat hackers instead of a black hat hackers. So if we can build a reputational system that give enough incentive for the hackers to become a white hat, to find the problems, then it will outweigh the incentive to become the one who actually hack the system and take the money away. So if we could build a sort of a reputational system scores plus a consensus among community where whenever being a white hat, you earn capital, a portion of the a portion of the grant, a portion of the total supply, or even you just mint portion of the total supply of the underlying protocol to incentivize them. If we have that sort of consensus understanding among most of the DeFi protocols, I think people will be incentivized to do something good for the protocol instead of being selfish and taking the money away. People driven because of the self-interest in the end. It's just so easy for the people to wash their money through, there's so many protocols that can wash their money. So there's no effectively a way to limit the downsides or the punishment of hacking a protocol. So in the end, we need some incentive for people to do something good.
Kind of like a credit system or like a reputation. So if
reputation system, you have your public address. If you find $8, but then you didn't exploit it, right? You tell the community and then you fix that. Then you earn significant amount of reputational score. It could be just a couple percent inflation of the protocol. That can be a lot of money. Think about a 10 billion, 100 billion protocol, and then giving like a few percent of what the protocol has, it's not a big deal, honestly, because it prevents a huge loss, right? And the people have incentive to do so. Everyone is happy, honestly. The community is happy because no one get hacked, right? No one lose anything. And then people are fine with like diluting just a little bit to incentivize people to find it. So I think if we have that system, it'll be great. The whole ecosystem will be great.
Yeah, Shilbo Baggins says, "I like it, Yubo." So I mean, we can make it happen.
Always incentivize people to do the thing. That's the economics play in. Let the economics place.
So where do you think DeFi is going? This is about DeFi 2.0 coming. Like, where do you see us like a month from now or a year from now, adoption wise and what you're building?
I think 10 to 15 years later, everyone will enter, majority of people. Okay, so if you look at a traditional adoption curve from early adopters to the mainstream, there's a huge chasm. I think we're exactly at the early adopter space or the stage where we have dozens of millions of users. We are early adopters. I mean, we're not a mainstream users. There's a huge gap. They don't quite understand DeFi. They don't quite understand what is staking, what is public key address, and they don't have to. We have to design a system that is simple enough to bridge the gap, and that gap is huge. However, I see people slowly transition, and at an accelerating speed. Honestly, at accelerating speed to the new system. So what end up going to happen is that banks still exist in the future. They'll be there to become the base layer. And then the DeFi will be another universe where people deposit their money into the bank, to a trust, convert it into a stable coin, convert it into a representation, blockchain versions of a dollar. And then people are just going to stay in that universe. People are not going to go back. If majority of the merchants in the US agree to accept crypto as the payments, especially stablecoin as the payments, then people wouldn't go back to bank. They don't have incentive to go to bank and then say, hey, I'm going to pay you cash or credit cards. It's just inefficient. But then they will stick into the system where they can pay. A good example here is WeChat Pay and Alipay in China. So people store money into bank, transfer them into the WeChat Pay system. And then the cool thing they have done is that almost all of the merchants in China, including digital merchants like, ride-sharing apps or e-commerce website, everything except WeChat Pay. But people just stay in the ecosystem and pay. I think similar thing can happen or will be happening, but it takes a couple years when we cross the chasm.
That's pretty smart. Nicholas Potter said, "What was the name of Yubo's project?" So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Parallel is our company's name. The reason we give Parallel is because we think that the world is going to this parallel financial universe. That's kind of how we see it in the 10 years down the road. And we wanted to be Apple of finance. Like we have multiple product line, just like what Apple have, right? They have MacBook, they have iPhone, iPod, and different kind of products. We build it based on different blockchains. Under Polkadot, we have a few products like money markets, liquid staking, auction loan, MMs. Under Kusama, we have some products. Under Ethereum, we have a margin staking protocol. On other blockchains that we work with, we'll have other protocols that we build. So we do have a pretty long and big vision that bring this gap that I mentioned about. And eventually, we wanted to bring those hundreds of millions of users or billions of users to the space, and so that they will be the actual beneficiaries. We see that in the future, people hold a lot of cryptos. However, majority of the DeFi protocols are serving the demand for tokens, like token holders, either like pure crypto tokens or stable coins. But then the biggest market, like $100 trillion markets, or even larger than that, are those users who are outside the ecosystem right now. They have a lot of cash. They're not going to put 100% money into Ether or something. They may be putting a good percentage of that into specific coins. But how do we convert that? That'll be a big problem for us. And we will do that in the next couple of years to solve that problems with different rounds of fundraisings, obviously, with the expanding of our team. But go back, what we're doing, it's this blockchain studio model where we build protocols that are not existent, that we innovate, and then push the innovation forward in this space so that we can eventually bridge the gap.
Got it. Is there a reason why you're building on Polkadot and Substrate? Did you not, or thoughts on like Solana, Cosmos, or even Ethereum 2.0?
Yeah, we actually had a specific team that's doing R&D on other blockchains, including Ethereum. And the reason we choose that to publicly announce and then start with is the fact that there are just no solutions on Polkadot yet. It's not even launched. The money markets or liquid staking or auction loans are the core demand for any DOT holders. They need those three things. It doesn't exist. There's no good product. For us, it's a low-hanging fruit. It's easy to solve. And it's always good to start from a niche market and then become a big player. From 0 to 1, right? You don't want to target for everything to begin with.
Yeah.
But you wanted to have a niche market to at least to have a good market shares, right? Like top 1 or top 2.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, and I think being laser focused and building something out is more important than just randomly just blasting to see what works. So yeah, I think Ryan's trying to reconnect right now. He said his connection is failing, but we can talk with the audience and kind of just talk about DeFi in general. How did you get started in crypto, and what do you think of the markets right now?
Me or
yeah. So
yeah.
I think we can also talk about leverage staking. I remember you told me about that, and I was like, dude, that's pretty interesting. So where do you think? So Haiko is for KSM, right? Haiko, you guys are launching in a few days, and then Parallel is coming after that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what is leverage staking, and why is it important? Like because I know a lot of the box mining community, there's a lot of farmers. Box mining talks about farmers a lot, pretty often, and they're all about the free food, right? So you put in, you stake it and you get free food. So we got a lot of farmers here. So how can this project benefit them, and why should they care?
Why should they care about that? staking will be the largest economy for. It is the largest economy for Polkadot, and it will be the largest economy for Ethereum, especially when 2.0 is launched. Staking reward will be decreasing over time. Polkadot start from 14%. Eventually, it might go down to 10% or even 8%. Ethereum, we're hovering over 6%, 5-6%. Eventually, as more people staked, the reward will decrease. So why do you guys care? Because the yield is going down. Because the staking free money is going down. Free staking reward is going down, and we wanted to increase. We wanted to help you increase the capital efficiency to have more yield, to have better returns. What is leverage staking? What is margin staking? Basically means that you staked on a margin, or you staked on the borrowed asset, right? If you have $100, you can stake more than what you have as a spot assets that you own. So we help user in a risk-adjusted way to borrow additional base-denominated currency like DOT, Kusama, or Ethereum. You use the borrowed asset to restake into the system, and then user will receive staking derivative. With that, we will put it as the collateral, and then generate additional, help user borrow additional capital to restake into the system, so that you will be able to earn higher capital efficiency than just
so I got a question. So I mean, this is something that's been done in the traditional banking sector, right? The banks always use leverage. I mean, that every time they use a product, they go heavy into leverage. But obviously, we do have a few comments from the channel saying, they're so traumatized from leverage because obviously, in DeFi, at this current point, it does incur more risk. So I guess two questions for you. So first, how your leverage product works, like how is it different from something like Alpha? Like, because Alpha always also offers leverage through Homura. How does it differ? And second of all, do you really think it's right now we're at the time for leverage? Because yet again, like a lot of people can get burnt on it.
Yes, perfect question. Great. I think name leverage staking. Leverage itself give people a lot of a nerve that they worry about the risk. So don't worry about that. First of all, answer the second question. It is the time. Ethereum, it might be a little bit early, just because of ETH2 is on the way to go. You can't unstake in a guaranteed way, in a deterministic way. So it's a little bit longer on Ethereum. But on Polkadot and Kusama, it is one of the largest live, fully functioned proof of stake network, right? So Polkadot and Kusama is not late. It's right at the exact time, like the right time to do it. Answer the first question. What about risk? So we use the staking derivative as the collateral to borrow asset on top. And remember one thing is that the staking derivative that we generated will appreciate against or appreciate relative to the denominator currency. Good example here is that if you stake a DOT into our system, you receive one X dot, which is the staking derivative that we refer to. Over a course of year, the exchange rate increase to represent the staking rewards. So at the end of the year, hypothetically, you have one X dot, but then the exchange rate become one X dot equals to 1.14 dots. So you are using a appreciating asset to borrow the base currency. So there is no price risk for the user who borrow asset on top of it, because it doesn't matter how fluctuated the dollar amount related to dot. It doesn't matter because we're borrowing additional dots, which is depreciating against X dot, right? So you're safe. Your loan value is less than the collateral value, because collateral value is always appreciate against or relative to the loan you borrowed. The only risk that you have is the interest rate risks. So there are two interest rate risks, two interest rate you have to consider. One is the borrow rate, what exactly the borrow cost, what capital cost you borrow at. And the other one is the staking rewards that you're earning, right? So if there is a difference, you make the money. However, if it is inverted, right, the borrow rate is much higher in the staking race. And obviously you can lose money. Over time, you'll get liquidated. So interest rate risks is the risk that user have to take, but price raise is not the one that you have to take.
I think that it takes time to get around, right? Because at the end of the day, I've seen very unstable interest rates on multiple platforms right now, and this is something. This is infrastructure that goes on for long periods of time, right? And over long periods of time, then you can find a stable rate. So. We got a few questions here.
Yeah.
So everyone's, I mean, obviously we're talking hardcore into DeFi, and it's a lot harder to, like, this is where money is made, but at the same time, there's layers upon layers of layers of complexity upon this. So I think we should start wrapping up soon. Nate, everyone's asking what kind of pizza I am, and I'm actually extremely hungry. I have my breakfast up here. I'm actually staring at my breakfast. That's my 2 pieces of bread this morning. I have not eaten breakfast, so that's why I'm like a little bit hungry right now. But I think we're coming towards the 1 hour mark, so let's start wrapping up. So I guess for both Ryan and Yubo, can we? I guess we'll give you an opportunity to say a few final things, like call to actions for people who are interested. So let's start with Ryan. Ryan, what's your call to action for everyone here?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, guys, my connection kind of dropped out there, but happy to be back on. Call to action. Anyone who's interested in checking out Alkemi Network, you can visit our decentralized app at earn.alkemi.network. If you're interested in being a early liquidity provider before we launch the token, you can register at kyc.alkemi.network and check us out there.
All right, cool. And also Yubo?
So if you're interested in our vision to build the future finance, then please join our company. We are hiring for engineers, marketing folks, product folks, designers. So please just join the Discord that we have or Telegram, and then drop your request or resume. Then we'll keep you in contact.
Nice, man. That's a hardcore Bill message, call to action. All right, man. Also, Jemmy, what type of pizza do you like? That's like the number one question up on chat.
I do like the pineapple pizza. Like, what's wrong with that?
I love people.
Exactly.
I love pineapple pizza. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna side with Jemmy here. Jemmy, I support you.
It's amazing.
What do you guys like? Ryan, Yuba, what do you guys like? What kind of pizza?
Just the normal pizza with I don't know, like anchovies. Honestly, I don't have a preference.
Yeah,
I like cheese.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm boring, and I like normal pizza too. Pepperoni, definitely. So, yeah.
All right. I like Hawaiian. I like the stuff that with everything shoved on top. Like it's like a full fucking meal. All right, that's it, guys. So guys, if you guys want to know pizza, yes, I'm sacrilegious. If you guys want to unscribe because I like pineapple pizza, please do so because I'm gonna forever love that stuff. It is the best. But not anchovies. Anchovies, no. But yeah, I think that's it for today's session, guys. I hope you guys loved exploring this space with us. I know it's we got Yubo asking your company's name, so it's Parallel, right? So let me throw that on Parallel Finance right here. I'm gonna throw that link. Parallel.fi.
Yes. Parallel.fi.
Right, and I think we'll wrap the session here. I really love hearing you guys, everyone here. So we got some comments like, "Oh, let's nerd out for another hour." We should, but on another day we will do so. It's gonna be super fun. But I want to wrap this up before the hour mark is up because YouTube loves 1 hour videos. And guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for coming in, Jemmy, as well. Thank you for your news updates. Check out Jemmy's channel. Check out Nathan's channel. We'll see you guys soon.
Yep.
Later.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Later.
Guys.